She writes, as I asked her for remarks, most of us remember why we joined Toastmasters. We had so much fun and we were learning and growing. COVID and Zoom meetings have changed things drastically. Radhi's presentation is going to cover ideas for making our meetings more fun and valuable to our members. Please help me giving a warm District 35 welcome to Radhi Spear.
Thank you, Jason. I'm extremely honored to be here. Your district is 70 years old. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. You know, the last few years have been quite challenging for all of us. So I'm going to cover the changes that have happened to us and the experiences we have faced and share some of my experiences that I hope will help in improving member engagement. You know, one of my favorite quotes is from Charles Darwin, who said, "It's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change." And I have to say, Toastmasters really adapted to the changes that happened 2 years ago. Practically overnight in March, all the clubs around the world went online overnight. And I saw so many Toastmasters who were really having a lot of issues. Some got sick, some lost family members, some lost jobs. Yet it was the Toastmasters experience that helped them get them through it. They said that having that club, knowing that they could see their extended family, getting to that club meeting was what helped them get through COVID in the initial days. I remember many districts coming up with ways of helping their members be able to meet online. One of those that I found amusing was this, which was telling people, you know, you should treat a Zoom meeting like a regular meeting. If it's audio only, you don't have to worry so much about your appearance, but if it's Zoom, you know, you need to dress up and be prepared. And it never occurred to me, and it should have, I guess, but Toastmasters has so many resources on this subject. So if you just look, if you just go online to their resources page, there are all this fabulous information on how to feel confident, how to be online. You know, when I first started online, I decided to station myself next to the kitchen. I had a room there, I had a desk. I thought it was a great location. I had no idea how many times my husband and my daughters kept going to the refrigerator and the microwave. And every time I would say, "Shh, I'm on a call," they would say, "Mom, go to your room. This is not the place." So there were so many other factors we had to take into account in terms of, you know, the ambient sound, our equipment, the lighting, the microphone, testing the equipment. There was so much more to it. And, you know, everything we do in Toastmasters at our clubs is to help us achieve the club mission. So this morning we heard about conflict, hybrid meetings, club success plan. Well, the whole point is for us to meet our club mission. Our founder, Dr. Smedley, was brilliant when he came up with the concept of Toastmasters. Every member has a home, and their home is their club. If that club fulfills their mission, then that member will do well. So the club's mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience. But now times have changed. We have all different kinds of meetings, but the club mission is still the same. And that's what we are trying to get at, to fulfill the club mission. Now, to briefly go over all that we are talking about, you know, when members join Toastmasters, they join because they want to improve their communication skills. And that's what we learn in Toastmasters. We learn time management, structured meetings. We have agendas. How many people have said, "I wish in my office our bosses knew Toastmasters and would keep time and follow a structured meeting." We've learned enhanced communications. You know, when we do table topics, that helps us with our customers. Sometimes they don't, you know, what questions to ask us. And you gather all your information and you present an answer and they're like, yeah, that's what I was asking about. We learn presentation skills. You know, we have gestures and body language. And the most important part, constructive feedback. That's how we all improve. And we need constructive feedback in our daily lives, in our jobs, with our spouses, with our children, everywhere. And here you are today as a club officer, and in club officer training, we learn even more skills. To start with, we spoke about the club success plan earlier. That's all strategic planning. How are we going to be successful to meet our club mission. We have improved customer service. Our members are our customers. How are we going to serve them? What are we going to do? Have the moments of truth, get feedback from our members, so many things we can do. We learn delegation because we're going to have an open house. We're going to have a contest. Who is going to arrange for the room? Who is going to do the membership program? Who is going to do the agenda? How are we going to advertise? So we have the marketing, the public relations. How about budgeting? We budget resources, budget people, budget time. We learn writing skills. We are writing to each other. We're doing so much. So there's so much that we're learning every step of the way in Toastmasters. And the silver lining to COVID was that we now know how to run online meetings, conduct online training, present online webinars. So we have expanded our skill set. We tell our members, everything you learn in Toastmasters, you can use in everyday life. Now we've learned even more skills that we can use in everyday life. There are several advantages to meeting online. It's convenient. I don't really have to worry about driving or traffic or getting gas. It saves me money. It saves me time. And if you're not feeling well, you don't have to go to the meeting and get other people sick. If there's bad weather, you don't have to risk it. There's a snowstorm, an ice storm, or a heat wave. You can just attend the meeting from your home. If you're traveling on business, you can attend. You're learning new skills and skills that are needed for today. Times have changed. I don't think we can go back to how it used to be. And these are skills that we need to succeed. And another wonderful thing is that we are truly becoming international. We are getting members from around the world joining our clubs. My home club somehow has attracted a dentist from Thailand and a finance manager from Hong Kong. And it's like midnight when they join, but it's still so much fun to hear their speeches and their experiences. Of course, there are trade-offs. It's hard to make eye contact. I have to remember to look at the camera. That means I'm looking at you. You can't really feel the energy in the room. The social interaction is a little bit different. The gestures are limited. I have to learn to use the whole screen. But, Toastmasters are so creative. If you look at just starting with the world champion in 2020, he used the whole screen like a stage. He came from the side, he went to the front, he was on the side. There's so much for us to learn. And of course, to be able to meet online, we need internet. We need the internet. We need to be aware of security. We need equipment. We have to learn new skills. So there is a learning curve, and some people may be resistant, thinking, the old ways that way was so much easier. Now I have to, worry about all these factors. But think about it. Why should we learn these skills? Because these are the skills that are needed today. The company where I work at AT&T. I've had 3 start dates, and every time they say, okay, come back to the office. Wait, there's a COVID wave coming. Hold on. Okay, come in another 2 months. All right. So, and then they're thinking, I'm getting as much or close to the productivity as before from having her work from home. Why does she have to come into the office? Companies are realizing I can save money on heating and electricity and cafeteria services. So let them work from home. And we in Toastmasters, because we've expanded our skill set, it helps us stand out. We're keeping up with technology. My younger daughter during COVID was considered an essential worker, and she had to go into work every day. She worked for a defense company, and so because of a security clearance, she had to go in. But recently she changed jobs, and she was telling me, oh, I have to get on this video call, and Mom, my room's a mess. I don't know what to do. Where shall I take it? And I said, use a virtual background. And she's like, you know about virtual background? Never mind that I work in a technology company and I've been doing this for a while, but these are skills we need. This is what we need today. It's very useful. My sister is a doctor, and she does these telehealth appointments. She doesn't know her staff sets up the appointments, but I showed her how to use Zoom, because you have to understand these technology companies want to make their technology easy to use so that more people will use it. I mean, you could be on WebEx, you could be on Teams, you could be on Zoom. They're all trying to make it as easy as possible for you to use. And learning new skills is good for health. We always hear about exercise is good for health. And when I go and I lift weights and I think finally I've reached my goal, No, they increase it. You can never reach your goal. You have to constantly stretch and learn more to be of value. Similarly with mental health, you have to be stretching yourself, learning new skills. It's good for you and it makes you self-sufficient. You shouldn't be just relying on these one or two people to come to the club, to be the Zoom master, to help you out. If you learn these skills, it's to your benefit. So today we have the flexibility. We can meet in person, we can meet online, or we can have hybrid meetings. And this morning we had this whole talk on hybrid meetings. Actually, Toastmasters website has a lot of links on hybrid meetings. And going through those links, I actually found our speaker today. I found his videos and all that he was presenting, and they're very useful to have. We do have some diehards, I think, in our Toastmasters clubs who always talk about the old ways, or we like the old methods. Just to put them at rest, I just want to say I have an example of a person in my home club, and I call him my prototype. He joined in January of 2020 before COVID hit, and he had never given a speech. And by March, we were entirely online. And then he started his journey in Pathways. He started giving all his speeches in Pathways. And just last year in July, New Jersey lifted their COVID restrictions, and his niece was getting married. And he happened to officiate at the wedding, because many people previously had told me, Radhi, are you telling me with Pathways, I'm going to sit at home, look at squares on my computer, and tomorrow I'm going to become a public speaker? Really? Does this work? And it had a little doubt in my mind, like, could this be? But here is my proof. So this is a member in my club, and this is the email he sent us right after the wedding. And I just highlighted the subject line and the line that I thought was of interest here. He thanked us. He says Toastmasters really worked. He got so many compliments. His wife couldn't believe how well he spoke. So Pathways works, Toastmasters works, even meeting online works. That's the point I'm trying to make. So now coming to my message about, okay, so we have all this flexibility. How do we keep our members? How do we do well? So from my perspective, member engagement means club excellence. What do I mean by club excellence? We want to have a successful club. Toastmasters International has come up with a way to show us if we are meeting our club mission. How are we fulfilling our club mission? We have what we call the Distinguished Club Program. And to make sure we are distinguished, we had the club planning earlier this morning. How do we become a successful club? So to me, if I break it down some more, a successful club means we have members with well-run meetings. Now, if you think of our members, we have our existing members and our new members. And you might think, okay, I have a well-run meeting. I keep my existing members, I'm good. But the thing is, life happens. The existing members, sometimes they change jobs, sometimes they have to move, life happens. Like even in my very own office, I'm in the East Coast and my club meets at lunchtime, 12 to 1, but some of our members are doing business with AT&T on the Pacific Coast. And so my 12 noon meeting is a prime 9 a.m. call for them, so they can't attend anymore. So you lose members for various reasons, not that your club isn't doing what it's supposed to, but life happens. So you lose members, and so we need to attract new members, and we need to have well-run meetings because we need to provide value to keep our members. So before I get to my next step, I just want to talk about the time when I first got into district leadership. And when I was elected Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, which is the club growth director, I realized that my home club only had 12 members. And I thought, oh my God, my home club can have a coach, and I am supposed to be the marketing person for the entire district. I better fix my own home club. So at the time, I was desperate. I'm like, what do I do? I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a table outside the cafeteria. I'm going to have my banner and pamphlets. When people come, I'm going to try and get the numbers up. So with 12 members, only 6 attend. I think a rule of thumb is 50% of paid members. And when I said, will you come sit with me at lunchtime? They're like, what? Give up my lunch? Forget it. So I begged some of my friends. I'm like, look, we got to look like a successful club. I'll have the banner. I'll have everything. I'll answer the questions. I sat outside for 2 hours. At the end of 2 hours, the best, people would stop by. What's this about? Public speaking? Oh, that's okay. No, thank you. The best I had was one manager. And, I work for the phone company. And he said, can I call into your meeting? And I said, no, this is public speaking. This is not speaking on the phone. So at the end of 2 hours, I had nobody. And the point I'm trying to make is this doesn't have to be time consuming. You don't have to be spending time like this to get members, to increase membership. Besides, in my example, I got nobody after spending 2 hours. So I realized I have a whole district to worry about. I can't just be spending all my time just on my home club. So I thought, let me just advertise. I'm not very good at advertising. So I just did this clip art stuff. I had this, there was this closed circuit TV in the building. I just said, there's Toastmasters, we meet every week. There's the room number and stuff like that. But you don't even have to worry about this. Today, Toastmasters International has this really nice presentation. You can just use this, very professionally done, to advertise your club. You can tell them about all the details that you need. And we also had an electronic newsletter, and I would urge everyone to see whether you meet at a library, a church, wherever you need to advertise. And we used to do this. We just had a small blurb about Toastmasters. And I'm just showing you what happened in my club, and I'm hoping this will help you. But at the end of the year, and you can go look at this, Mike Rafferty has these reports. If you know your club number, you can go check out your club. So I just want to show you on the left-hand side are all the DCP goals. Initially, we were not aware that there's a membership component, that you have to have a net gain of 5 or 20 members, until I got into district leadership. And then it dawned on me, just getting the goals is insufficient. But just doing that passive advertising, my membership grew from 12 to 28. And that's the point I'm trying to make, that this really works. And I would say it's all about advertising, advertising, advertising. Now, if I look at just my recycling pile, I just went there to look. You see all this junk I have? We don't read half this stuff. This is all advertising. If just a tiny percentage looks at it, just a tiny bit, and says, oh, let me check this out, that's all we need. And today, since we can meet online, I know there were references to so many different ways we could advertise our clubs online. So we need to advertise to make sure they come. But then once you advertise, you need to make sure you have well-run meetings, because if people do show up and then, oh, who's the speaker today? Do we have a Toastmaster? What's going to happen? If they see a disorganized club, they're not going to join. So we need to have well-run meetings. So what is the key to a well-run meeting? We get feedback from our guests. We conduct moments of truth. What works for our members? Maybe the meeting is too long. Maybe the timing doesn't suit. Maybe we've spent too much time on the club business. Whatever it is that bothers them, we find out what our club members need, and we change to suit their needs, because every club is a little different. Every culture of every club is a little different. We need to match the needs of our clubs. Also, we need to run a club like a business, because if you're advertising, oh, we meet every Monday, 12 to 1, and then someone shows up and that Monday, oh, there are no speakers, let's cancel the meeting. No, because then it gives a very bad impression about us. We want club excellence. We want to show that we follow and we have meetings regularly. So I put an asterisk there because there's always some exception. If there's a hurricane going on, if there's flooding or something, please, your health and safety is most important. But in the majority of cases, do not cancel a meeting. Follow up on absentees who don't come. Make sure that you run the meeting. I'm stating all the obvious, but these are what I feel are needed to keep our club running, right? Have table topics, make sure it's fun, include the guests. Make sure all the speeches are from Speechcraft, are from Pathways, because Pathways is our only educational program. That's what we're using today. And what if, and this happens, there's a deadline at work, I'm sorry, I can't give my speech. You know, one of the advantages of being online, you could show a past world champion speech and evaluate that. You could watch some other speech. You could even give speeches from the Better Speaker series, Successful Club series. This will help your club. Make sure all the roles are filled, that we have good attendance. Make sure the room is in order so that, and if it's an online meeting, that we've set up the Zoom link, that we ask people to join a little early. And if you think about all the things I'm mentioning here in a well-run meeting, that's what all our club officers do. So this afternoon, we're going to have breakout sessions and each person will learn their small piece of this meeting. But if we all did our pieces, we'll have a well-run meeting. So if I look at this list that I have here, the president sets the vision for the club and how we are going to proceed this year. The VP Education has all the goals of the various members and how they're going to progress through pathways. They will work with the Toastmasters to schedule the speakers. The VP PR and the VP membership advertise the club so people know that there is a club that they can come and join. We have the treasurer making sure the dues are paid. We have the sergeant at arms making sure the room is in order, that if it's an online meeting, that it's done correctly. So all we have to do is do a small part, and then we can have an extremely well-run meeting. And so if we have a well-run meeting and we have our existing members, we can attract new members. I'm sure we can have a successful club. So we need to take pride in our clubs, because if we are proud of our clubs, people will join. They're like, wow, look at the way they talk about that club. I would like to join that club. And one of the advantages of meeting online or hybrid, because when you used to meet in the room, you could have your banner, you could show off your banner and all those ribbons and say, oh, look, this is a great club. But now we meet online. So you could change it to, you know, something like home club of the district evaluation contest winner. I don't know, find something in your club. Actually, this year, I have a member who's in the final of all 4 contests and placed in all 4. It's just amazing. Or wouldn't you like to join my club? We've been President's Distinguished 13 years in a row, right? Want to take pride in the club? Or, you know, maybe it's just the part of town, the best club in Middletown, New Jersey. The thing that we have to keep in mind is that because of what happened with COVID, because of all the flexibility we have all these members who have joined from other parts of the world. I have a feeling in the next few years, we'll sort ourselves out. Those who prefer in-person meetings will say, we're going to do in-person. Those who want online will go to online, and those others will go to hybrid. But we do not want to lose those members. Like if the whole club takes a vote and says, from now on, we are in-person, all those other members who've joined from overseas or from other parts of the country, please let them know they can transfer their membership. We don't want to lose these members. There are options for them. So I just want to say that we have a lot of flexibility. The bottom line is this: if members perceive value, they're going to stay. We need to convey to them that we have flexibility. We have meetings that meet in person, meetings online, meetings hybrid. The whole world is available to us to be a Toastmaster. You know, all those friends in the past who said, oh, sorry, Jennifer, I can't come to your club because the timing doesn't suit me. I have to drive, I have to park, you know, there's traffic. Hey, you can join us online, no excuse. The people who said, you know, I'm sorry, I have small children, I have to take care of them, elderly parents, I'm a shift worker, I work at night, I'm handicapped, I sprained my leg, I broke my foot. Okay, you can join online. So we have really flattened it. We have now accessible to all the members around the world. And if the members don't like our club, please let them know they can transfer their membership. We always tell our members, everything you learn in Toastmasters, you can use in everyday life. We have expanded our skill set. We can meet online, train online, webinars online. I would not have had this opportunity before, but now sitting in comfort in my home in New Jersey, I can talk to you in Wisconsin. Thank you so much for this opportunity. You know, things that it was harder to do before, cost more money, cost more time, now is a little more convenient. And Marcus even said this in his presentation today. When the general evaluator does the evaluation portion of the meeting, have a section on the technical aspects. What worked today? What did not work? How can we do it better? I know he told us that it takes a while to set up a hybrid meeting, come early, maybe even take an hour. but he's trying out all different new things. I think for average club like ours, once we have a setting that works, it'll get faster and faster because we know exactly where to place things. We still ask for feedback because we can always improve, but these are all skills that we need. And pathways, like I said, it works. Improvements are coming. So I think we are in an excellent spot today. We are in very challenging times, I know, but we have the flexibility. We have the opportunity to attract members from everywhere, and our program actually works. We've been in existence now close to 98 years. 96 years of that was all in person. We have only 2 years of online experience. We're getting better, but nothing's stopping us from getting even better at that. So, my fellow Toastmasters, I want to ask you, what will you do? Because you've been given the wonderful training that District 35 has provided you. We have all these different flexibility and opportunity. It is all in your hands. With that, back to you, Jason.
Thank you very much, Radhi. Give Radhi a round of applause and our appreciation, but thank you so much for sharing that wonderful information with us. I think there's an immense amount that we can all take from what you shared. But we do have a bit of time for some questions if you're open to that.
Sure.
So for that, feel free to drop a question in the chat or raise your hand, and I will call on you to unmute if you have raised your hand, or share the questions that are in the chat. But feel free to share your questions on the idea of member engagement and how we can better serve our club as club officers. Joseph, I see your hand raised. Feel free to come off mute and ask your question. Oh, Joseph, you dropped back onto mute.
I'm not a president, but I am a member of the active club, I feel. And I think that, again, customer service is so important. If we forget about our members, if we forget about society, just try to be, as they call it, #1 club. That's not good either. We can't be selfish. And everything that you talked about engaging people in society relates to Toastmasters, because, again, public speaking is supposed to be public speaking. It's not supposed to be about what we're doing individually. It has to be about the community. So I really think that your talk was good, and Toastmasters in general is good for society, because, again, public speaking has to be for everybody, not just us.
Thank you. Was there a question?
Did you have a question, Joseph, or are you just making did you just have a statement?
Yeah, my question is, my question is, how does Toastmasters really gear themselves to making people better? I mean, public speaking is important, but how do people grow as people? How do we really have people, how do we get people to have better personalities, better lifestyles? And COVID, yeah, it changed everything, but I really feel that online is important, because, like, for myself, I don't have to go to every place, but I can share.
Mm-hmm.
I can share my experiences, and I can be with people that in person doesn't allow.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
So those are.
Joseph, I just want to say that everything we do in Toastmasters is not to be in Toastmasters, but to use in everyday life. And if you've been in Toastmasters long enough, you will see the change in people within 6 months. It's tangible. When they first join Toastmasters, they seem a little tentative, a little anxious when they're called upon to speak. But within 6 months, you see the change. And the one thing that they all say is self-confidence. I felt that myself. I just joined to improve my communication skills. But the change that happened to me was it made me much more confident. And I've seen that in a lot. So staying in Toastmasters helps you in all aspects of your life. And that's why I feel, you know, I work, like I said, in the phone company at AT&T. The skills that I have here, it's a niche skill. So I can only go to another telecommunications company to use it. But the skills we learn in Toastmasters, communicating, getting our ideas across in the time allocated, being succinct, to the point, is what we need. And that really raises your self-confidence, and you see it. It's there. So I don't know how long you've been in Toastmasters, but it becomes very evident very soon.
Great. Thank you, Radhi. Thank you, Joseph, for that question. Anyone else, please also feel free to drop your questions in the chat and I will share them. Amy, I do see your hand raised. If you want to share your question, please.
Thank you, actually, and thank you, Radhi, for your presentation and speech. Actually, I had a kind of a comment. I joined Toastmasters back in February, and I recently became an officer, so kind of a short stint. What I wanted to say, ironically, so I really enjoy, I'm a member of I'm the new president, actually, of the Cream City Communications Club based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I actually missed the new member orientations. We do them every first Wednesday of the month, and I had missed them. So I think as a newer member, I wasn't connecting the dots around how Toastmasters could help me build skills beyond the reason I joined was to improve public speaking and presentation. So I really appreciated your points today, because I know our membership is really great, and they do a great job, especially in the new member orientation, to explain, hey, it can help you with other skills that you're looking to build overall. And so I just wanted to say I appreciate that. And it's something that I'm wondering as a new president, if there's a way to incorporate this theme of you're here to learn more than just how to be a better speaker. I find for myself, especially as a professional, there's so much richness that you can be learning, like how to be better at managing your time, how to be doing some of these other things. And so maybe I do have a question, which is there a way that you might share that sort of theme or notion with new members as they arrive? Because it's very true. And I can say as a newer member, I was a little freaked out in the first meeting. It was very structured and all these things. So I so appreciated that theme, and I thought, okay, I can see it now, but in the beginning, I did not see it. Thank you.
So Amy, you're absolutely right. And as I mentioned before, we have so many resources on our website that we don't even go and look. We actually have a chart which is called benefit, values, and features. It tells you all that Toastmasters has to provide and all the benefits you get. It's a nice table, it's there. And they even have it broken down by club officer role. I was just general today because I kind of raced through in general what all you learn in Toastmasters to try and tie it all together. But Toastmasters has so much to offer. You will hear, I think you're a new Toastmaster, the two things people say is that it's the best kept secret, and I wish I'd found it sooner. And we are still working very hard to make sure other people find it, because I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but our founder, Dr. Smedley, his goal was just to help the individual. His aim was, he was not interested in the stock price or making money or anything. And he said, ours is the only organization dedicated to the individual. We work together to bring out the best in each of us and use these skills to help others. That was his entire purpose. That's why we're a nonprofit. We are here to help each other. There's this feeling of camaraderie, of a family, of people willing to help. And that's why I think our program works so well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Radhi. Thanks, Amy, for that question. I think it's really easy as club officers to forget about all of the resources that are out there and get wound up in just the things that are happening in our own club and forget there's the whole organization out there that has materials and resources to help us. Hind, I see your hand raised if you want to ask your question.
Yes, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Radhi, for that great speech. I have a comment and I have a question. I second everything that Radhi just mentioned. The comment I have is related to Joseph's question. I think the way we improve ourselves is by listening to speakers like Radhi and Andy. I think Andy gave us a phenomenal talk this morning about managing conflicts and conflict resolutions. These things are not something that we are born with. These skills are not taught in schools, although they probably should be. They might be taught during at college level, but most of us take our own, like for instance, I took science courses. I never took public speaking or management courses. So I'm learning, and like Radhi said, I wish I had found this platform sooner, because I'm learning so much from this platform. So that was my comment. My question is, in order to improve my members' engagement, I would like to call or invite previous Toastmaster public speaking champions. How can I go about doing that?
I think if you, they are available online if you search for them, and I'm sure your fellow Toastmasters can somehow lead you to them. I remember when I was a district leader, we used to always get world champions to come speak at a conference. I don't know specifically how to find them, but I'm sure there'll be some Toastmasters will help. So I know I'm not giving a specific answer, but that's the beauty about Toastmasters. You ask one person, they don't know, you ask the next person. There's someone who will help you, someone who will find out. And I want to mention that Andy did mentor me. I learned a lot from Andy. I also see Jim Coley was here. I served with him on the board. He's given the link to the benefits value chart that I just mentioned. I even saw other people in my breakout room who gave talks on lead management system and as region advisors. So many people in your district, you know, you just realize this is a big extended family, all there willing to help, and it's wonderful.
Yes. Thank you, Hen, for that question, and Radhi for your response. One comment that was in the chat, Radhi, I think I'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on is the idea of, as a club officer, as even as a Toastmaster, attending other clubs and the potential value of doing that. Do you have some thoughts related to that?
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who are, you know, hesitating to be an area director, for example, saying, oh no, I want to take part in contests, I don't want to be an area director. There's so much value because you go attend different clubs. It takes you out of your comfort zone. It could be online, it could be hybrid, it could be in person, but you're getting to speak in all these different venues. You are learning, you are growing from it. I think the best part about Toastmasters is that it's a win-win. It's not just that you are helping others, you are helping yourself. You're growing from that experience. And so going to other clubs, seeing how other people do it is a lot of fun, and you learn. And one thing recently my club incorporated, and I think Amy, I think, asked me this question about listening skills. We actually incorporated a role called listener. And at the end of our meeting, one person asked questions to make sure we listened to all the speakers and how well we listened, and we improve our listening skills. So lots to learn from Toastmasters, and especially go visiting other clubs. They all do it slightly differently, and it makes it a lot of fun.
Excellent. Well, we are coming up on 10 after the hour. So thank you very much, Radhi. It has been a privilege to have you with us today and to share your wisdom and thoughts with us. It is much appreciated. And again, let's give Radhi another round of applause as a thank you for her contributions to our district and Toastmasters. And we're looking forward to continuing to see what the organization brings to us as members. And thank you for your service as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.